We're all looking for those leaders in our community who are good family people, but are also a lot of fun. This will be a good one, everybody. Stay tuned. Welcome everyone to the Your Little Castle show. I get to talk to fun, cool, and just entertaining, good-hearted people. And Brian Trust has joined us for the show today. We're recording on Thanksgiving Day. Don't tell anybody who knows when you're going to see this. It could be 2042, and we still look the same. But we enjoy making people laugh. You do a lot of fun stuff, Brian. Thanks for joining us here.
I appreciate the invite.
Well, we do have to give a shout out quickly to our sponsors, but Carroll House Furniture, because you like nice things.
Yes.
There we go. I'll put the title up there. In your little castle, that you might have a car, or maybe you've listened to Brian do some of his media stuff in your house on some of the furniture you've got from Carroll House Furniture.
Because I too like nice things.
Because you too like nice
yes.
things. But you also, your primary business is your family auto sales. Trust Family Auto Sales. It's good to find somebody you can trust in the auto business. Is that fair to say? Most people.
Absolutely, no pun intended, right?
Those are the making a car purchase. I'll tell you a quick story about my recent revelations experiences in the buddy of mine. He can go straight to the dealer. He has a little private dealership. And we end up getting a call from the state of Missouri 6 months later. Says, "Hey, your title isn't matching up. The car had been stolen.
Oh.
It went through the auction, so they're the ones that were on this hook, or else I'd have been in trouble. But go through the right channels, I guess is the message. Because if you do it on your own, I talked to another buddy. I'm like, hey man, when are you going to come in and record? He goes, man, things are crazy. My car got stolen. I'm like, oh my gosh, my car got stolen too, and then sold to me. And he goes, but I just got taken, man. There was no recourse. Oh. So we went back through the auction, and they just wrote a check back for the total amount the car was due. But it snuck through, and they altered the VIN. And if you really looked at it, you could kind of tell. And
wow.
What they did is they checked. My buddy goes, check that the VIN on your app through the manufacturer matches, and it didn't match. And he walked out, and he could see there's a little number. The last 4 numbers are on some of the parts. And he said that matched the numbers on the parts to the VIN on the door. And they didn't match there either. So then we knew we had a
wow. Yeah, 30 plus years. That's not something I usually see.
Yeah, well, that's the same thing my buddy said. And he goes, yeah, this is the first time I've ever dealt with this. But hey, first time for everything. Yeah. And everybody made it all good. So we're back up and running. But that was the craziest little experience. But buying a used car, 99.999% of the time, this stuff doesn't happen. No. And on a used car, it'd be hard to ever happen. But you do a little bit of both. You do consignment. You buy.
We do pretty much everything. One-stop shop.
Tell me why did you decide to get into this type of business? What led you to the auto world?
Wow. So going back in '92, I was expecting my first kid, and I was driving a pickup truck, and regular cab pickup truck's not going to accommodate the car seat. So I went and purchased a car, and during the purchase, they're like, "You need to be in car sales." Now, of course, later did I find out, was that just, flattery that I'm doing business with them? Right. I actually quit my job and showed up on their doorstep and said, well, you told me I should do car sales. That's when I learned it was just flattery, and here's where we're at X amount of years later, 30 years later.
Well, now you don't only do car sales, you own the dealership, right?
Yes, sir.
And how long have you owned your own dealership?
I opened February of 2005, so okay. 20 plus years.
20 years running your... Now that means you're doing something right, because anybody can say... They say 10 years is kind of the magic number, but if you've doubled the magic number, so obviously your reputation... We're going to show you some of the reviews. They've got a 4.0, 4.4 average on... And that's tough to get in the auto world, for sure.
Not everybody's happy.
Not everybody... You're going to get all kinds of people. But you make everybody as happy as you can, and somebody's got
I think it's with any business, customer service. So it's not a matter of necessarily the product you're selling. It's customer service. So the reality for me is this: it's character. In the auto industry, it's inevitable. I'm not going to tell you a pretty picture, but it's inevitable that there's going to be car issues. You're selling machines, right?
Right.
But character shows how you deal with it when that situation occurs.
When there's a problem, how do you deal with it? That's a great point. Well, I like that. What's your passion here? You obviously, somebody sticks with something for as long as you have, you enjoy this. 33 years overall experience, 25 people. Okay.
I love people.
Tell me more about that.
The reality is this: it's in the car business. When I worked at a dealership. We sold new and used cars. For those that don't know, I'm just putting it out there, there's a little bit more of a commission in used cars than there is new cars.
True, yeah.
But I always wanted to sell new cars because I was so conscious about what we just spoke of. If I sell you a new car, you're not going to have any issues opposed to a used car. So I sold a lot of new cars. And then coincidentally, I went out on my own, and now I'm independently selling used cars.
And do you have new cars there too?
No.
It's 100% used cars. Okay, like I said, and that's where somebody can really save some money too. So
You're not paying the depreciation. Yeah, absolutely.
As soon as that thing drives, what do they say? That as soon as you drive off 20%. The lot, you are losing
20%.
20% of the value of your car just by what. So this is where you get to bring some real value to somebody. How do you certify and make sure that you're selling a good car? What's the process you guys go through?
So, and I'm so glad that you asked that. So I buy 100% of our inventory. And when I go out, and as a matter of fact, if I'm allowed to say, I have a YouTube channel called The Car Guy. And I actually share with people how to buy a car.
We'll have to look that up. I'll put
and that's just the beginning part of it. So I'm the guy you see walking around with a scanner called OBD, onboard diagnostic.
Okay, that's what that stands for. Yeah. I've got a little code. It came up. My car's 2 years old, and it says the engine light. It says something with the cooling system, so at least it's not an engine problem.
Well, it gives you rightful knowledge prior to buying the car. So every car I scan it, and as long as there's no transmission codes or anything major, it's not uncommon to see like an O2 sensor or a catalytic converter. Then I test drive the car, and I'll try to speed this up because I can give you a long process. But if I own the car and I buy the car, I send my drivers. Now that's number 2. Then it goes to my repair shop. We do a lot inspection. That's 3 people who have touched the car. And then the drivers return it back to the car lot. So by the time a customer test drives one of our cars, they're the 5th person to drive that car.
Wow, because I've heard stories about some dealerships. I don't know them by name, but somebody mentioned to me. It's happened to my mom, so I won't talk about. I think it was, if I recall correctly. Maybe wipe that out because then you can track down where she got it at. But she came up, she bought the car. Her car was old. It was like an 2007 or something. So this was relatively recently. She went back up there to get something looked at, and her car was already later that day on the lot, ready to be sold. That's how quickly they turned it around.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was marked up $5,000. She traded it for $500. I mean,
well, I will, on behalf of the car dealers out there, profit's not a bad word.
Right. Okay.
Because at the end of the day, you got to go to value. Here's what a good deal is. If you're happy with what you bought and you're happy with what you paid for it, that's a good deal. Right. That's the best way to look at it. Because you're going to have so many people in your ears, then you're going to start second-guessing yourself. And one of the most exciting things that you want to experience, you don't really need people downplaying that excitement. Yeah, buying a car should be exciting.
Well, my dad would make the joke that, like, if you listen to enough people, you can double your knowledge, right? And making facetious statements, is that what that is? To say, yeah, most people don't know what they're talking about. And they will share their perspective, and thank you very much, but you got to keep going. Such is life, right? I mean, how many times in life do we have somebody telling us what we should do? They think they've got the right path, and they don't know what they're talking about, but they want to seem authoritative.
At the end of the day, you want to do your own due diligence for your own best interest, period.
And it's good to see, like I said, somebody who's been in business as long as you have, proven, and the reviews and everything. We're going to go over that a little bit. Let's talk about that in a second. But given that you've gotten into this for so long, tell me, why do you enjoy the process so much? I mean, this has got to be something, because next to a house, this is the biggest purchase that anybody makes.
It absolutely is. Matter of fact, I will say there are some idiots out there who pay as much for a car as some people pay for a house. But the difference is your house is a 30-year mortgage where a car loan's 5 years.
Yeah.
You know, so you really got to be intense on your wants and needs and what you're going to do with them. But the reason why I'm in the business, if anybody gets to know me more on a personal level, it's relationships.
Right.
I said it earlier. You said, ask why I do, and I said people. I love people. And one of the things that I take the most pride about Trust Family Auto Sales, it's not just necessarily how much down and what's my payments. We explain the process, because there are loans out there for people today. I actually call them ugly loans. And I'm not a fan of them, but I sell them. And the number one reason my answer is that is because if you don't buy it from me, you're going to buy it from the next guy. And at least with me, there's full transparency. We want you to know what you're getting into.
Yeah, well, key information is power, and being transparent, because how often do we get into a situation in life, especially when you're talking about an auto sale, a big house, any kind of large purchase, And you how could you possibly? This isn't what you do for a living, so you're not going to know everything that there is to know about that situation. And you walk out of there, you better feel like you know you can trust. They go back to you and talk to you. You're available. You're the owner and operator, meaning you.
Yes.
I'll put that up on the screen for everybody. Let's see if that comes up. Owner and operator, meaning you are in the field doing the work every day.
Yeah, but we're pointing. I just looked at the camera. Does your camera add 50 pounds?
It adds 10 pounds.
Okay, woo!
But back to me too. By the way, I started doing something about that.
I was saying it for me, but I apologize. Yeah, woo!
Both of us. So naturally, face to face, we were much thinner.
Slim, yeah,
much thinner. But yeah, I mean, that's got to. Somebody's proven themselves as long as you have. That's what I'm getting at. Do you think that's helped you to establish yourself?
Absolutely. I feel very blessed that I always talk to my guys. I've got 2 salespeople. I'm like, anytime you guys want to go head to head, I don't have to. I feel very blessed that I would tell you a strong 8 out of 10 people come in because they've already done business with me or they've been referred to me. So I feel really blessed with that.
And that, tell me, I guess one of the biggest questions I would have, how often 1 out of 5, 1 out of 10 have a problem because you can't, like, this is a car that's been driven before, 30, 40, 50, 70,000 miles on it. What percentage of the time is there something that you have to address after the sale and take care of somebody?
So I feel comfortable to tell you maybe 4 times out of the year there's pretty big issues, unforeseeable issues, where even the customers agree. Because like I said, 5 times before somebody even commits to buying a car.
The reason you've eliminated that problem is because you do such a thorough investigation.
Absolutely. Well, and then you see me pulling up. I don't own a car, so I try to drive a different car every other day, put some miles on it, and I truly hope that if something's to happen, it happens on me during my ownership opposed to the customer. But as I said earlier in the program, at the end of the day, what you want to deal with when you purchase from an individual, when you do your due diligence, as I've seen your shows, you bring up reviews. If something's going to happen, what's the character like? How are they going to handle the situation when it occurs?
Yeah, they say the true test of anyone is what do they do when nobody's watching. And I think that's the definition of integrity and stuff.
Absolutely.
You dealt with that. And I like the fact that, yeah, this happens a little bit, you admit that, but you can circumvent a lot of that because of that in-depth and research you do before you pick up a car.
I would say, we were just talking about this because I just recently bought 23 cars, and the average reconditioning is about $700 per car. So whether it's batteries, tires, brakes, what have you, it's not, and again, I can't speak for others, but it's not like you were talking about how mom just traded her car and it was already back on the lot. Well, that's great. If it's her everyday driver, we get that, but you still want to check it out. You still want to do your due diligence.
You would think, I mean, this is something that somebody else is going to create a lot of headaches for you if you don't.
My reputation is way more important than a commission check. And when you're dealing with aftermath, even with Logan and Jacob, my sales guys, we don't want the customer calling as much as they don't want to call. So it's so much better to sell a more quality product where you can call that person doing your follow-up. You're looking for referrals opposed to, okay, well, we need to address that or do that. No, nobody wants that in any line of work.
Well said. With that, we talked about it before. There it is. I had it at 4.4. In the auto world is tough. I mean, it's hard to get anything over a 4, 4.1, 4.2, but you're at the 4.4. And so you just scroll through here. I'm going to grab one. Extremely satisfied with my purchase. And this is Johnny. You guys can play along with me if you want to. But Johnny, do you recall this particular client? Right there in front of us. Was very satisfied, helpful, and did an excellent job. I'm going to put this so people can read it. There it is. On helping me get a vehicle. It took me to explain. It was a year ago, so maybe not. Time to explain. I most definitely recommend to check them out. 100% and grateful for their opportunity on this vehicle. Thank you. This is the kind of stuff you get when you do your due diligence prior and run those ADVs. What's OD? What do you call that?
The OBD, onboard diagnostics.
Onboard diagnostics.
And that's one thing I recommend. If you're going to go out and purchase a car and you're unsure and you're unfamiliar with the dealership that you're dealing with, they're $30. Spend $30, check the car out yourself. And here, if you don't want to spend the $30 because you're going to carry it on, go to your local O'Reilly's and your AutoZone on your test drive. They'll check it for free. Your salesman might not enjoy the pit stop. I mean, me personally, if I'm on a test drive, I'm asking you to stop at Dairy Queen and get me a Blizzard. But
Right.
if you like, let's stop at an AutoZone or an O'Reilly's. It takes less than 2 minutes. Again, it's on board, it's instantaneously, and it tells you about the car.
Great stuff. This is what inside secrets here, everybody, that you can learn, especially when you're buying a car. It's important to know these kinds of things. Thank you for sharing some of that.
Absolutely.
Trade secrets, we call that, I think. But doing a good job here, and we appreciate Brian sharing some of that with us. With that, we're going to give a quick shout out to some of the community stuff out there. My buddy Will, and I've got some new video we're going to share from last night too. But we did Guns and Hoses. Everybody knows this is the Thanksgiving time of year, and so Guns and Hoses, huge event, lots of great fun we had there. And actually, I'm going to play. Will, I played the last show, but I'm going to come back. I'm going to try to drop that in here real quick and show you a little video from that. Stay tuned here. Here's our other little community piece we did. The Cardinal Cowboy and what we get to do in the community. Check it out.
His name is Carter Rethwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up.
Presenting first, running out of the red corner, standing 5'9" tall, weighing in at 200 pounds, representing the Ferguson Fire Department. Please welcome Jacob Mathis. His opponent, running out of the blue corner, standing 5'8" tall, weighing in at 195 pounds, representing the St. Louis City Police Department, please welcome Daniel Parker. Your referee is Tommy Pratt, 3 rounds of boxing.
Hey, we're looking for the small business owners and leaders in our community to be on our show. This is the Your Little Castle Show. We air 3 times a week, every week on ABC, and we would like to put somebody you know, or maybe it's you, who's a business owner to be on our show. You'll sit right here in our guest chair, right here, sitting here talking to us. We're going to put on the wall your website and everything about you, and highlight you as a leader. Fill out the form you see here on our website. It's bigleagues.com, and if you go to bigleagues.com, fill out this form. It takes just a couple seconds, and you can even schedule yourself right here. Schedule yourself to be on the show, and there is no charge for us to record you. There's no charge to be in the studio. Check it out if you would like to be on. Fill out the form again, bigleagues.com. This is where we can turn any interview into a series of clips. Check that out. Go to bigleagues.com. So there we go. Lots of fun, and I'm glad we thought about that. We went last night to the Guns N' Hoses. That was the last fight of the evening, and just firefighters, police coming together, doing a little boxing there, and just bringing the community together. That place is packed. You see the audience.
I think it's absolutely amazing, and especially for the cause. Absolutely.
Yeah, if there's anybody who understands that fire and police are so vital to our little planet here, and especially in the United States, we do a pretty good job keeping things law and order, and those guys. But they're the guys that saved my life years ago. If you look at my story, I was in a coma, lucky to be alive, so I won't bore you with all that. But yeah, those guys, they are impactful and do a great job. I grabbed a couple of my buddies that I saw. Hey man, he goes, man, you better put that video on your show. So we did that. Well, tell me, as we get into this, back to business. When somebody is buying a car, give me that little. I like to do what I call a cost analysis. And we talked a little bit about, we referenced that a little bit earlier. And but last two cars I bought were both used, and I saved probably $3,000, $5,000, $7,000 doing so. But what are the benefits of going to get a used car? 1, 2, 3, 4 years old, 5. Some people get a 10-year-old used car, get a Lexus with $50,000, $70,000.
Sure. What
are the benefits? And give me some of the cost breakdown why it's best to purchase a car in this fashion.
Well, one of the things about going to, for example, in my case, an independent small used car lot, is value. It's first of all, here my wife drives an Escalade ESV, brand new. That's $110,000. You could buy it for me for $70,000.
Wow.
So what's that? $50,000 right off the bat. Who can't use an extra $50,000?
Right.
You know. So there, the depreciation's involved. But one of the things I was sharing with you that I have a channel where I actually teach people how to buy cars and look for the savings. It's kind of like the magician. Magicians never give up their secrets. Well, if you follow me, I'm the guy that other car dealers hate because I'm giving you all the tidbits and the resources that you could find when purchasing a car.
Oh, yeah, well, there you go. Somebody that's actually sharing. We're going to show that up on the wall. But in between shows, we'll get that queued up and we'll play a little bit from that. But yeah, literally, like one of the biggest concerns people have is when they go to buy a car, very few people feel they can be confident to say, I know I got a good deal. And so then, because you don't know about the numbers behind the scenes and what they were doing and that got your trade in and all the stuff all the games that are played, you cut through a lot of that and share some of the secrets.
There's more to a price tag. There's value. Okay, I mean that's what anybody should look in any type of business, especially with a lot of your sponsors. We want to encourage and support the good people that are out there. A lot of times people will get a bad rap, but it's not just in an entirety. Sometimes you get one or two that give people that bad name. So today, with what I call the information highway, you could do your due diligence, you could read people's reviews and kind of get to know before you go into the store. That definitely helps. And like I said, we're blessed. The majority of our business is referrals. So people have already done business with us.
That's what we're talking about. And so the good reputation that follows and all the good things that people have to say. That leads me to my next question. Why should somebody choose Trust Family Auto Sales?
Well, right off the bat, reputation. Reputation speaks for itself. Another word that we like to use is transparency. I can't take all the credit. Like I said, I've got two guys where they're not necessarily reporting to me. A lot of times people don't like the car lot where you ask for a question or a commitment and they got to run back and the whole back and forth games. My guys are very independent. So when you speak to one of us, first of all, we're a non-commission. Okay,
oh, really?
If you came in, you bought a car from me because of this newfound relationship that we have, I still pay my other guys. So that gives them the independence. Not only do they are knowledgeable about the car, but they're knowledgeable about the financing. So it takes a lot of that car sales Mickey Mouse, what I call, out of the equation.
We go talk to the finance guy. It's like you're talking to, what was the show?
We're all in one.
Yeah. Okay.
We're all in one. We do it all. We could sell you the car, test drive the car, do the finance and everything for you. So if you build that trust, even if it's my name and my image for Trust Family Auto Sales, but you're dealing with one of my other guys, they could do it from start to finish. And we're a team. That's how it should be. That's why there's no commission involved. We want, it's what I said earlier, you want that experience. It should be exciting, not nerve-wracking, you know?
I didn't realize that. I don't know I'd ever heard of I thought everybody was a commissioned salesperson at the car lot, but you figured out a way to run a system that...
So all my years prior, you see a lot of the uglies in the car business, and again, I've told you before, it's about people and relationships. So how can you make yourself a better place? And not only for the people, not only for the customers, but for my employees. You know, if there's any car salespeople out there listening or watching this, what's it like to establish a relationship with you? They go out to lunch, you decide to come back and buy the car, now they got to give up half their commission because they weren't there to finish it. Again, you could take a day off, and when you come back, if we sold 3 cars, you're still getting paid on those 3 cars. It's teamwork.
Teamwork makes the dream work, they say. It's a very good system that it sounds like you implemented there. Takes care of everybody. Are there any specific certifications, or we've talked about some of your accolades, but what are the things that behind the scenes that you've got to have? You have mechanics that you refer to that definitely ASE certified. What are the things that you bring to the table?
So we're Trust Family Auto Sales in Godfrey, Illinois. I also have Trust Family Auto Services in Bethalto, Illinois.
Okay.
So even though I own both facilities, they are 2 independent situations, circumstances, what have you.
Okay.
And one of the things that I'll tell you, I'm a fast forward that question, extended warranties. I preach, here, I've got 6 kids. 3 of my 6 kids are driving. Matter of fact, my oldest kid is also the operator of Trust Family Auto Services. But when he buys a car from Dad, he also has an extended warranty. Because again, let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, whether you buy a new car or a used car, you are buying a machine.
Right.
The people that you're buying from, if they want to paint you this picture that you have no issues, we're actually salespeople who tell you, I'm going to tell you, Cardinal Cowboy, it is inevitable. I can't tell you tomorrow or down the road, you're going to experience some issues with this car. So we highly recommend, you're not obligated, but we highly recommend that you take an extended service plan to protect you.
Yeah, no, I'm a big advocate. I know that one of my biggest partners on my show for a long time. Obviously, they're so valuable because you don't want to. How often do people drive the car off the lot? And it may not be 3 weeks after, but it's 6 months or a year after. That's still not too. And now they're still paying on this car.
Yes.
And then they've got the car payment, and now they've got a $1,200, $2,000 repair that if they'd had a service contract on it, they wouldn't have to deal with that.
Listen, you're going to be happy if you take one. Not only that, you're a lien holder. A lien holder, if people aren't familiar with that terminology, that's the institution that's financing your car for you. They're happy you take one also, because the reality is this. Car financing is so readily available for you today. There's some people, if a car breaks down, they don't even fix it. They just go buy another car because it's out there, right?
Right.
But the people who are financing your car for you, a credit union or a bank per se, they're happy because statistically, you're going to make your car payment if your car is running.
Right.
Okay, if your car is not running and you don't have an extended service contract and you don't have that cash laying around to fix your car, it's a tough situation for all.
We're going to finish up with another great discussion in the second half here. I'm going to have Brian stick around for another half an hour. Stay tuned for that one, everybody. Giddy up.